When evaluating cards, sometimes it's not so straightforward to determine whether or not a card is good or bad. And I think that's the case for Captain America Sam Wilson edition. And what I mean by this is that we've had a lot of cards recently that have very clearly, on first impressions, showcased their power. Ares was a great example of this, right? Very straightforward card, very powerful, went into an immediate shell that worked well. Easy to evaluate because of the fact that it has a perfect fit in its form meets the function, right? And we've had a bunch of cards like that recently. Sam Wilson brings a new style of play, a new type of archetype, and the use of the shield is kind of fascinating from a gameplay perspective. It is fun. It almost reminds me of the original Kitty Pryde and the way that you can manipulate something each and every turn, and that's kind of fun and interesting. However, it is also very frustrating when you're trying to play Sam Wilson and the shield is sitting there idly in the field of play, not moving, not doing anything, in a position and in a location you did not choose, and you just don't draw Sam Wilson. And so sometimes it can actually screw you over, and I've had those situations in the past. The fact that it can't be destroyed is actually a huge benefit to it. Like, this can't be destroyed part is wild. It actually helped out quite a bit. But it's the moving and giving +2 that I think a lot of people are most interested in, and that did have some interesting synergies, and it did create a lot of power, but it felt kind of slow because if you play it on turn 1 and then you play Sam Wilson on turn 2, you can move it in on turn 3, then you got to move it out. And remember, the moves resolve first. So on turn 4, for instance, or on turn 3, or whatever you happen to do, if you play the other Captain America, the shield will move and then Cap will resolve. So it actually slows things down a little bit from like a power generation perspective. But overall, like, the card feels fine. Like, I'm not saying the card needs to get buffed or anything like that. It is still relatively new. And as I said prior, like, we do have one shell that I do have a high degree of confidence in. But is Sam Wilson worth it? It's tricky. Because the season pass is generally such a great value, you're getting a Series 5 card for 10 American dollars. It's hard to pass up on, right? But there's a lot of players out there that, you know, despite the currency in the season pass and like the unlocks and stuff like that, you're after, is the $10 worth the card? Like, is the card worth the value? Is it worth the cost? And if you're a free-to-play player, I think this is definitely a wait-and-see situation. Because I can see Captain America Sam Wilson underperforming. At the same time, it's such a different way of playing that it could potentially see some major play if a specific deck archetype gets figured out. But my instincts are telling me that it's more likely that this card is mid as opposed to being great. And if it is great, it's likely going to have Moonstone in it. So if you don't have Moonstone, I think you're going to be missing a core piece on the decks that will overperform for Sam Wilson Captain America. Okay, so my initial impressions are somewhat tentative. It's a long season. It's a season pass card, so it's not disappearing at the end of the week, right? But it doesn't come out as strong as some of the other ones we've had in the past. And so as a result, if you're, looking to be free to play or you want to be, selective with whether or not you buy the season pass, definitely do not FOMO in here. I would definitely stay the course, chill, wait, maybe throw some keys at, Joaquin Falcon and see where that takes you, which I'll be reviewing tomorrow. But overall, Sam Wilson, I came away tentative with my evaluation. So let's talk about the decks here, and I'm going to get us started with the one that I actually really liked the best. This deck here, I'm calling Sam Moonstone, and I liked it because not only did it have Sam and Captain America, which gave you a little bit of extra, nuance to being able to move the shield around, and even just playing Cap on top of the shield to give it a buff was kind of cool. Spectrum obviously loves the shield because it's an ongoing. But most importantly, I think Moonstone's great here because you can Moonstone Ravonna to get incredible value out of like Iron Man, Mystique, Gore. I like the Iron Lad as well because pretty much everything you hit is a pretty good hit. US Agent had its moments. I can see US Agent being cut though, so if you're missing US Agent from the deck, don't despair. But overall, I liked this deck a lot. And what really surprised me was the Mr. Fantastic, Captain America, Moonstone combinations in mid, creating a very wide board that then you can take advantage of playing a Spectrum on the left or right while also still buffing the middle up. So really cool deck. Sam Wilson worked very naturally in this shell, but still it had those moments where you don't draw Sam and the shield's just sitting there, and what do you do? And if it's mid, it might reduce what you can do with Captain America and Mr. Fantastic and stuff. You run out of space quickly in mid because you tend to want to put the Moose there, right? But anyways, long story short, this would be the deck that I would play if you're interested in testing the card. This was by far my favorite shell. If you are a budget-friendly player, this is kind of like a version that I would experiment with if like you're early in your collection. Just a quick little showcase here. Yes, it's running Namor, but again, we're trying to be as inexpensive as possible, and this would be a shell you could potentially try. And the advantage of it is that you could do something like Mr. Fantastic, Claw, Namor onto one of the locations on the right, and then you play Onslaught there, and not only does it buff up the Onslaught, not only does it buff up the Claw, which gives that Namor a massive ability to win the right location, but you also get the benefit of having Cap there or Ant-Man and whatever, right? So if you're looking for a budget deck, this is one that you could try. In terms of some of the experimental stuff we were trying, some of these were good, some of these weren't. This was okay. This was fine. Hercules felt complete cope, and so I would ultimately cut Hercules in a deck like this. But I had the idea of like, okay, if everyone's playing Cap America, Sam Wilson, and they're moving the shields around, why don't I build a Sam Wilson deck that also counters their play, right, with Scream? We never ultimately got a Hercules bouncing shields everywhere type play, right? Never quite worked that way. It was a Scream deck that just did Scream stuff that was just good. And it had the secondary play of like, well, sometimes, you know, you can move the shield into Kraven with Cap, which is nice because it allows you to get benefits on both ends of the turn, right? So if you play Kraven and then you play the Captain America Sam Wilson, which I'm having a hard time saying over and over again. Maybe I got to call it something else, but there's Cap, I don't know. When you move the shield into Kraven's location at +2s, and then you go to obviously one of the Caps, they +2. If you have them both in location, it's +4 on 2 on each, of course. So it had its moments, but it was still just very much a Scream deck. Still fun if you want to give it a shot. Patriotic Ping Pong is pretty cool. I did try the Miss Marvel. I talked about this on the Snapchat. The Miss Marvel Sam Wilson deck, where being able to get Miss Marvel active using the movement of both Madam Web and of the shield. And honestly, it worked. It was not a great deck, honestly, but it functionally worked, which was cool. Because it makes me wonder if we're just maybe another card or two off from Miss Marvel and these like wide-reaching kind of decks functionally working pretty good. This was not bad. I wouldn't recommend you grind with it or anything, but I want you to know that it actually did its thing, which was impressive. And you'll see a couple gameplay highlights of me playing this deck. And it was cool playing Madam Web in a very different style of shell. So I will say that. I am a fan of that. And then we tried some Wilson Zoo. Kyera felt absolutely necessary because of the amount of mill we're experiencing. And a lot of the mill decks are currently incorporating Killmonger in them. But honestly, he was okay here. He didn't feel great. We couldn't find a way to fit the other Captain America in without it feeling like inauthentic to the Zoo experience. If you cut Kyera for Captain America, you're going to get Killmonger nonstop. It's like the destiny you're in, right? So you could cut Kyera. You also used to run Nico in a deck like this too, right? Nico's often traditionally used in these decks, so if you don't have Hawkeye or something, you can play Nico. But honestly, the deck was good. We won games. We were positive win rate. It just didn't feel like, oh, Zoo's better now. It felt like a different way to play Zoo, but I don't know. It felt forced in. This was definitely the card. I would actually cut him from that deck. And we probably tried some Gene stuff, and it was pretty cope, and I wouldn't play this either. The idea of doing like a Gene, we even tried Namor again in this deck with Moonstone. It wasn't great. The Gene Mojo stuff. If you're going to do Gene, I did prefer the Toxic version, where we ran the U.S. Agent, we ran the Man-Thing, we had the Moonstone, and again, when you're running all these debuff cards, I found it fascinating playing Moonstone into things like Punisher and Captain America. It was pretty good, and of course, Ant-Man likes being under Moonstone as well. But overall, like, the deck was good. The deck was good. So if you want to play something toxic, this is another option as well. Overall, if you had to choose which one to play, I do like the Ravonna, Gore, Iron Man, Mystique version. It's by far my favorite. But I still have a little bit of concern with regards to whether or not this card is actually going to have the staying power. Because it's a season pass card, I think that you can reliably expect that if it's underperforming, that they'll buff it. That's business, baby. They'll buff it if it sucks and no one's buying it. But there have been flashes, in particular with the Ravonna deck that I just talked about, that it felt like a good card. But when you don't draw it and that shield's sitting there, it feels so frustrating. And maybe that's something you just got to get a hang of. Maybe that's something you just got to get used to. And I think the best deck for Sam Wilson's not just going to be one that can take advantage of the fact that it's bouncing around with the shield and everything, but also the shield just being there is enough, and you're happy with that, and it's gravy when you actually draw Sam Wilson. Will that ever happen? I don't know. We'll see. But overall, I'm tentative. My general recommendation, especially with this card right now on day one, is do not FOMO into it. If you're free to play, just wait. Wait till, you know, some deck shape up, see what the meta's like. And again, because it's a season pass, you don't got to buy it on day one. You can buy it near the end of the season if you have to, right? So don't rush into this one. I came away somewhat unimpressed. But overall, we had a lot of fun playing it, as you'll see in these gameplay highlights. What a brutal location that, quite frankly, I am sick of. But I'm going to play Cap or Moose here. Give us a little bit of love. You're playing Bullseye Discard. Very popular deck right now. Very popular deck. The best play here is Snap into the Moonstone, which should be cool because we'll reach there, we'll win here. Like, we're kind of attacking all these locations at the same time. Is this Dock and Blade because they want to draw? Dock and Meek. Look at that. Boom. I think you play Ravona into Sam. And the reason for this is because I want that double up on Ravona's ability to maybe give us a gore play. Mystique, we got Iron Man. And we can move the shield out. So they're all in on winning with Dawkin, which is going to be good for them. This is 8 cubes. There's this line, which focuses on the gore. Or Iron Man, Shield, Mystique. I don't like the Iron Man as much because we're going to get hit by the Bullseye. But Moonstone's going to copy this. I think this gives us the greatest reach potential. Mystique's going to double up, yeah. We can send it for 8. This is tough. If this is MODOK, we might win.
I am Iron Man. I am.
It can't be MODOK. Are they holding swarms? Let's see what happens. It's Gambit. Wow.
Victory.
Crazy game. Oh my gosh. That's 8 cubes. Iron Man's a -2, but wins by 1. Wow. Genshin Enjoyer playing Captain America Shield, as one would expect. We do have an early Sam Wilson, which is great. We can Sam Wilson on the raft, bring the shield over, and they're going to get something of value here.
From the Daily Bugle.
Oh, they have a Scarlet Witch. Look at that. Which is unfortunate because I think that we could have made some magic happen there. Oh! We've both got ourselves Captain America here. Are they going to go to fill this or what? I want to play the Cap, but I got to move him out. Shit. It's awkward. Can't be Punisher. Has to be Cap, even if I can't take advantage of it right now. Move always resolves first. Bro. They got... Okay. I see you there, sir. It's probably the correct choice. We just lost to something stupid like this, where someone accidentally gets the perfect card. No! Oh my god, it's a disaster. Its Spectrum doesn't even hit them. Oh, the humanity. What a disaster. We even snapped into that. Oh my god. Okay. That was something. That was something. How dare you snap back? I think you still play. I think you play Claw. And let's see what we top deck. Now, Spectrum won't hit these because they don't have ongoing cards anymore. Oh my god, they have Sarah. Is the Moose enough? Moose, Mojo, Ant-Man, Spectrum? This is 8 cubes. Can the Moose bring us to the promised land? Because they're not going to want to overshoot here. Do we ship this for 8 cubes? Oh my god! There's no way we win this game, right? Maximus by 1? Wait. They're short. We just won! You've got to be kidding me! That is an unbelievable victory. I cannot believe it. GG's most certainly. By 1, we lost the raft, but we ended up gapping everything. And make no mistake, having a free Spectrum on turn 6 most certainly helped. You'd have to cut Nico, get Kyra in. It's the only option. Cut Sam. I know, that's what I'm saying. You probably cut Sam. Oh. Captain America's the glue that keeps the team together? Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. Your heart's in the right spot, and I appreciate it. But I don't know. People are too quick to... Of course they're quick to judge Sam, yeah. Obviously we're being very quick to judge the card. There's no question that we're being quick to judge. We've had a lot of cards lately that have really impressed really fast. And Sam is not doing that at all. And I think that's part of the challenge here. Judge harder, that's what day 1's for. I know, it's true. But we've had a lot of cards that have felt really good really fast lately, and it looks like maybe second dinner we're trying to be a little more conservative with this one for sure. Because it feels more conservative. It's not nearly as good as the past cards. We just play on curve here? We're giving up +1 on the Marvel Boy. That's why viewership's high on Thursday. It's Judgment Day. It's true. It is Judgment Day. Sam Wilson, baby. Let's do this. Drops. We can move the shield in. I don't know, man. I think we're probably screwed, but let's try it. You know what? We are at a point where if the season pass doesn't sell because the card's not strong, they're going to buff the shit out of it. Like, let's be very, very clear about that. If you're expecting anything other than absolute chaos because of the card getting buffed, then, you know. So clearly they're going to play Rocket left. right? Don't even play a card there. They miss Rocket. We finish Ant-Man. We add the card. Ship Shauna? I mean, yeah, we could high roll something Shauna. Yeah, okay, let's send Shauna. Wait, they gave left? Quicksilver. Wait, we can gap him, Monkey. Oh my god, did we just win? Wait, what? That was some nonsensical gameplay by our opponent. What just happened here? Why would you snap that? Dude, I'm sorry. Oh my god. I think they know. I think they know they threw. I think they know they threw. Bringing the Thunder brought the booze with some morning beers today and decided to start queuing games. Okay, we got Sam Wilson. We can Marvel Boy Frigga. No, it's discard. Marvel Boy Frigga is pretty good. But under most circumstances, I don't think you ever play Frigga on a deck like this. I don't think you can get the value out of it you're looking for. Shit, this is Bullseye. We're ripping it against Bullseye here, folks. Copy, rip it. Move it, block this off, move it back. Okay. We're going to be tight on space, though. This Monster Island is kind of screwing us up. With that extra one spot, kind of makes a difference. How many times have I had Sam in my starting hand? Never? Almost never? This might be one of the worst season pass cards in a bit. Yeah, you know what, though? It definitely does feel weak compared to others. However, the flip side of that is it is kind of cool that it doesn't get figured out immediately. I kind of like the idea that we need to cook a little bit to try to figure out what its capabilities are, as opposed to just knowing right off the rip like what the best synergies are. I don't mind the fact that we gotta figure ourselves out here, you know? I don't mind that. It's too weak. I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I love this play. Because we Blarvel next. We could have leaned towards Khazar, but let's do it this way. Do they have Bullseye here? No, Bleed. But it hits the shard. Okay. So they don't have Bullseye in hand. So there is some degree of hope for us. Gilgamesh is a good top deck here. No, so this stays, this. It's just that simple, really. However, 16. So it's better if we go like this. We also get +6 on the Marvel Boy. Okay. We'll see. Space was a factor, but it felt like the deck worked. Ironically, it didn't feel like we had room for Mockingbird. But Mockingbird's too good. You never cut her. This has to be something like a MODOK +1. Yeah. Yeah, they hit the shard. It's a lot of power. We need that second hit on... Oh, no way! We win tiebreaker. But that's close. And the second Marvel Boy just need to love tap the squirrel on the left. It didn't happen, but... okay. Interesting game at the very least. Castle Blackstone. Part of me wants to play Nebula there in the event that they don't have a card. However, it's also exciting to play Nebula off the location you know they want to play. Wow, they didn't even... they couldn't play Hood there. Would have been free real estate, I see. Oh, Nebula would have been perfect there. They're already snapping? So sad. You know what's hilarious? If they do something like, what's it called? Red Guardian, I don't even care that much about the shield. We're never drawing our cards anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, they got the full misery combo or what? Okay, I think here we're going to play the Jean Grey, and we're going to start getting our action happening here. If they pulled Luke Cage, I'll be a little sad with Cable. Love your YouTube videos, by the way. Super informative. Thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to focus as much as possible on the fun of Snap, you know what I mean? Cooking, having fun. Because I think there's been a lot of stress in Snap, you know? A lot of people just trying to enjoy the game, play the game. A lot of exhausted people out there, you know? Let's see if Manthin can flip this location even without Luke Cage out there. I don't want them to get a free Iron Patriot play. We're not too impacted by US Agent. It's Glad. Wait, Glad's only a 6? Moonstone survives. The most appropriate play here, you play Cap and Luke Cage. Again, the shield feels like a little bit of dead weight here. Yeah, we overkilled there hard. Okay, Nebula goes down. But this Red Hulk is so massive, and they have to play a card there. I don't see how I lose. It's very easy just to slam the Hulk down, but I think it might be cleaner to do this. Because I think this is a much more balanced play. We are susceptible to Shang-Chi here. But I don't think they play Shang-Chi left. And if they do, I think they still lose, yeah. Okay. So once again, like, the shield's just sitting there. It's just a spectrum target. Here we go. Look at that shield bouncing all over the place. I like that animation for what it's worth. Okay, we got turn 2 Sam Wilson. The shield feels awful without him on turn 2, by the way. Absolutely awful. We got some Uatu gameplay. Would not have expected to have seen that. Okay, Madam Web gives us a little bit of some balance and maneuvering here. Kind of want to play Madam Web. But 2, 3... Let's bounce it back and forth here. So I'm trying to figure out as well what strategy is going to be better. Bouncing them back and forth or alternatively playing them into the single location. Got to sort that out. Absolutely cursed draws. We play Howard here. We move this here. So in this situation, we would proc the Miss Marvel. Also, we'd be able to play it on turn 4 or 5, sorry, because of the Dream Dimension. And when it moves back, it can go back. It can't be a bot because it has an infinity border. Solist, thanks for the prime. Appreciate it. I love the fact they're playing Uatu, by the way. I respect it so much. So we're going to get the Iron Lad Howard the Duck gameplay here. Are we blessed to hit Miss Marvel? We are. We are blessed to hit Miss Marvel here, which is kind of cool. They're snapping. Now, I guess it all depends on what's after Miss Marvel. If it's... Because, I mean, Miss Marvel is also the same as just playing Onslaught, I suppose. Yeah, this is the Airstrom 2099 deck, yeah. I'm a little concerned as to what they got for free here. there's Madam Web. Move this back. Onslaught's just better because it's more power. But I don't know if we go high enough here. For 4, do we try it? We're probably in trouble. Yeah, it's Airship 29.9. The problem is it also has an Iron Patriot. I'm gonna go 4 here, but this is a bad call. So they are gonna. Oh, I won the Ares play. So I miss. So yeah, Gilgamesh beats us there. Wow, we end up getting the dub. Wow. And that's crazy to me because that doesn't make sense. Because either way, with Iron Lad, I would have had Miss Marvel regardless. I just added 3 power mid, really. But I guess the idea of the deck is clear, right? The idea that we're able to move the shield around to create the Miss Marvel effect. And that's what Madam Web does as well. We get the mobility to make Miss Marvel's requirement less difficult.